Hey folks, this is Eric J. I just got done watching the Crisis on Infinite Earths event on across the CW Arrowverse shows, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. What a time to be alive! You get to see this epic comic book story brought to life by so many amazing people. But there was one thing that kind of bothered me, and it's that they didn't, when they made Stephen Amell into the Spectre, they didn't put him into what I thought was a pretty easy nice approximation of the Spectre's costume from the comics. I understand that they did it from budget concerns, and perfectly understandable because they clearly poured every bit of the budget that they had into the making of that event, and it clearly shows. It was just such a monumental feat that they accomplished, but I still missed it, and so I decided to draw it to see what it might have looked like. Um, so I did. So here we go. Um, okay, so right off the jump, you can see that I'm using a photo reference. I'm actually just straight up tracing over a photo reference of Steven's face because this was initially supposed to be just a very quick, very fun thing to do. And I didn't want to waste a lot of time trying to get the likeness correct, so I just did it. That's a little trick that well, not even a trick, it's just a thing that I picked up from the great Drew Struzan, who did all those amazing Indiana Jones movie posters from back in the day, amongst like many others. Anyway, the idea being that you're under deadline, you want it to be quick, you want it to be, there are just a lot of reasons why you do that. It has to look like the person, it has to be fast, something like that. And again, because this is just something I just wanted to do for fun, I didn't want to take a lot of time on it, so I just decided to go ahead and do that. Um, and it's just basic, just getting the forms in the right place and making sure they're right. You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do? This whole thing ended up turning into a much longer project than I planned on because I decided I wanted to try some different things. So rather than just inking, as you can see, I'm starting to ink here. I decided to go ahead and try and put the inks on different layers here in Procreate. I wanted to go ahead and draw the different elements and colors to see how that was going to work. I did the face and the hands just in black like you normally would do, but the coat and the suit I decided to put on separate layers so that the colors would be color held and would integrate more with the color that I decided to go ahead and put in. Here you can see I'm jumping the gun and getting a little too crazy with the color on the face. I quickly decided to not do that. I left the eyes because I liked how it looked. But I decided to go ahead and draw the entire thing before I started on coloring because I didn't want to get too focused on one thing and then like run out of gas. So also I was using the watercolor brushes that I've been using in Procreate, and I quickly decided that I didn't want to do that on this one. I wanted to experiment with the colored pencils. So that comes later, but yeah, so the rest of this, back to the reference though. So yeah, I quickly got Steven's face in there, and then I did a very quick pose, just taken off of my desktop, just to get the hands positioning right and everything. I don't look anything like Stephen Amell from a figure standpoint, so there was like a lot of adjustment going on in terms of getting him correct in terms of body proportion and whatnot. But but what you need is sometimes all you need is like just a base reference to give you like an idea of like how the body stands, how the where the arms are in relation to each other, what the proportion on the the perspective on the hands and whatnot. And then I got into just, referencing his suit from season 8 so that I could make sure that it was the approximation that I was looking for in terms of the, taking the, the base idea, the being that they just take the green suit and make it white. which again, to those of us that don't work in the TV film industry, it's like, oh yeah, it's such a simple thing. Just make the suit white. It's not. It would have cost them a ton of money, and they'd already spent a ton of money on everything else, including all those great costumes for Pariah and what's her name, Lila. And anyway, and the monitor and the anti-monitor. So this bit about making Stephen look like the Spectre that we'd like him to look like from the comics is probably a small thing at the end of the day. But and I didn't want to reinvent like the wheel here. I just wanted to go ahead and see what it would have looked like if they'd just done a couple things, like for instance give him white contacts, give him some makeup on his skin to make him look chalky, and do the white uniform. And look, the Spectre from comics, there's no way, I don't know that anybody wanted to see them put Stephen Amell in a green Speedo, paint his whole body white, and then put like a cape on him, a hooded cape on him, because, with like little green booties. I don't think that would have worked. So I trust them in terms of what they did do. But I thought it would be such a cool idea, just to make it like a white suit, and then he's, and especially the white contacts, making, darkening him around the eyes, give him that comic book look, you know what I mean? Like, that heavy shadowing over his forehead down to where these piercing white eyes just peer from the blackness, I mean, it could have been so cool, and I wish that they'd had the budget to do it, but I understand that they didn't. At this point, you can see I've already gotten started on the colors here. Again, I'm working in the pencil. I'm working with pencils to get the colors here, as opposed to what I normally use is either a watercolor brush or an acrylic brush. But this time, I wanted to try. I've been kind of interested in trying to get this texture that I used to get when I worked with colored pencils traditionally. And lo and behold, one of the things I've been missing so much, and I know it's available, but I typically work in Clip Studio Paint on my desktop, and what I miss when I work on my Wacom Cintiq is the tilt aspect of it. Like shading with the edge of your pencil, and I got into Procreate, and I found that the tilt sensitivity on it is like amazing. It's a revelation, and it really is. All of a sudden I can draw with it, and I can actually shade with the pencil tool like I would shade with a normal pencil, and it was amazing. I mean, like literally blew my mind. And so I got in. I decided to try and work with that in this, and I was really, really happy with the results. I mean, really happy with the results. Back here, we go back to the watercolors, because I just love the watercolors. I can't keep them out. And just did a little splash as a background. And then I decided to go ahead and take out the coloring, just to make it like a white background on it. But anyway, so there you go. Just a couple things. I thought I'd jot a couple notes down on this one and do a little bit of a commentary, see how you like it. It's a little bit of a different thing for me. I haven't done anything like that before, so let me know in the comments and the notes what you think, if you'd like to keep seeing me do this kind of thing. And thanks for watching, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.